Hello, this is Sean Lane, and this is my Geometry Town. And as you can see, it is actually very scrunched together, and these streets are too small for the buildings. I'm not very good at size. Buildings are all purple. And the requirements for this project said that I need 3 parallel streets, which you can see I have. There's 1, 2, and 3. Parallel basically meaning that they do not touch each other. 2 transversal streets, transversal meaning they just cross the parallel lines, which they obviously do. And they don't need to be parallel, you could make them any way you want, it does not really matter, as long as they cross. Okay, so let's take a look into the buildings. I'm going to be using my mighty cursor to do this. So, right here, we have the library. Now, the library, as I'm looking at my piece of paper, is supposed to be at a corresponding angle with the hospital. There is the hospital. Now, corresponding angles means that they are in the exact same spot, but on 2 different parallel lines, which they are. You can see he's in the... Yes, I was entering a small boy. In the little corner there, and he's in the same corner right there. So they're in the same spot, but they are on different lines. Now, and as you can see, they are purple and have cylinders coming out of them because they're... I thought it would look cool. Okay, so we did that. Next, we have my... Excuse me, I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to figure this thing out now. My store. Really, really big store. It's more like a surplus than a store. And the store and the bank must be at vertical angles. Now, I made a bit of an error. The bank actually should be here. Yeah, the bank is supposed to be here. And I can't move it because if I try to, it doesn't work. So that's only one flaw there. But if it were one step closer, it would be accurate to the requirements, which it is not. Now, next, we will take a look at this thing right here. I'm going to zoom in on it because it's really, really small. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. That is the school with some really ugly looking windows. Now, the school... There was some more loud people. I apologize for that. The school is supposed to be at alternate interior angles with the house. And alternate interior angles are opposite sides of the transversal inside of the parallel lines, which they are. Right there is my little house. It's really, really tiny. So if I get a look at it, you can't even see the windows. It's really small. Don't ask me why it's that small. I made a bit of, I'm not good with size. Next is the gas station. Now, the gas station, as you can obviously see, is almost invisible, and that is why. It's right there. It is really small. It was the smallest building I made. Really tiny little fella right there. I can't even if I zoomed in, you wouldn't be able to see the front of it. Really small fella. Now, he is supposed to be at an alternate exterior angle with the restaurant, which is this, with the giant ramp in front of it. And alternate exterior angles are on opposite sides of the transversal outside of the parallel lines, which, again, I did make a bit of a mistake. I missed it by quite a few feet, so that is also an inaccuracy, and it's another thing that I tried to fix, but I can't because this thing is kind of mean. But yeah, as you can see, and then we will going to take a look at this right here, because the requirements also said that I need a square pyramid. So I just put a square pyramid right there that has absolutely no purpose with anything. It's just really big and pointy. Don't let your kids sit on it. Now, we're going to look at the park. Now the park was probably one of the most bizarre parts of this, mainly because with my problems with scaling, I managed to create a very, very huge park. Now, the park itself, the big square rectangle, has an area of 1.353041218 times 10 to the 13th power. Yeah, it is in scientific notation, that is how big it is. Now, my sandbox right here, which is required to be a circle, has an area of 5,699,659.5.48. Again, this is a park you really don't want your kids playing in. Pentagonal Pond, which has a perimeter of 2598865. A rectangular pool, which has a perimeter of 8.52631796 times 10 to the 13th power. Again, really big. You probably drown in this. Not to mention the fact that the way I made the water, it kind of just looks like it's not filled. It's just kind of hollow. So if you jumped in it, you probably hit your head on something. And then this is supposed to be a picnic area that is in the form of a right scaling triangle. And it has a perimeter of 4.640264034 times 10 to the 11th power. Again, really huge. But yeah, as you can see, all the buildings are in place, except for one or two, which are a bit to the left, a bit in a bit of a bad spot. Everything, this town looks like it's like really dangerous. It's gigantic and very crowded, kind of like downtown New York. So the streets are really small. That's a bit of a problem. So yeah, this is my town, and good day.